is on the reports, not only on the club visit. Of course, we have to do it because both things go together. But what I've seen last year as a program quality director is that there are some difficulties with writing the first visit reports. Because you are new in your role, you're probably very new Toastmaster, and you are overwhelmed. You go there, you are distracted from the club evening, and then you should write a report. And now we're going to give you some means and hand that it is easier also in from the very first beginning. So I hope you can hear me very well. If I'm talking too fast or not loud enough, please let me know this and I'm gonna adapt to that. And if you have any questions, please write them down either in the chat or on your sheet of paper if you have done something like that, and ask it in the end of the meeting. Because I'm sure many questions will be covered by the presentation. Right, so we go. So first of all, there is the why. Why should you do that? Did anybody tell you before, as an area director, you have to visit the clubs and you have to make a report on that? So here is the reason. So there are 8 good reasons why you have to do that. You are, as an area director, you are the bridge between the clubs and the district officer team. And you need to know and understand the clubs so that you can really support them during the whole year that you are leading the clubs. So what are you doing there? You attend the club meetings and you give them recommendations to enhance their club quality, club growth. Whatever you see is their weakness, you can give tips and tricks to help them. And in the club visits, you make the connection with the club officers, but also with the members. So it's always better to have this personal connections if they come up with questions. If you know them, if they got to know you, it's more likely than that they're going to reach out to you than just knowing only the name in the email. So this connection is very important to give feedback, to give tips, but also that the members or the officers are reaching out. And you as an area director, you are the person who really can empower the club officers in their role. They can ask you the questions, not only at club visit, but also afterwards by emails or telephone. And you are also there to see if there are some issues, and you are there, the first contact persons in all the Toastmasters hierarchy to resolve the issues. And when you are doing a club visit, it's a very important thing. I never thought about it when I was an area director, but I find it very helpful. Look out who is outstanding in this club evening in the organization and identify the future leaders. Very important for the sustainable success of clubs. And this is something in a club visit, and you see the reports, there are some many black holes in this report. So please have an eye on that and talk to the people in the breaks before and after and see who has ambitions, who has experience, and maybe you can motivate them also these leaders later on. So, and then you have to do that twice a year. But now we know you are sick. If you do it in summertime, you're on holiday. Then you're at winter time, you might be sick. So who can do that? So my advice is there can be always another person. But first of all, try to plan it now. You don't have to do it now because to visit them, there's holiday now. But always think about who can assist you in doing a club visit. And don't lose the club connections without visiting them, because you are such a powerful source for them and for the club that it's good that there is somebody. Could be another area director, could be the division director who does it, or somebody else, but don't forget that. So look out for a person who can help you. And there, believe me, there can be former area directors, former division directors. There are people around who can help you. So some basics. So hands up, who has read the area district manual? Not too much? You see many smiling faces, lost faces. Okay, good. So first of all, when you have to submit your reports, you have to do it twice a year. So the first round is 13th of November. And the second time is the end of May. That's quite a lot of time. And where you have to submit it, you will have in your district leadership handbook, you're going to have a paper version, you know how it looks like. And this is usually the first contact that you have. It is available as a form that you will send out earlier to the next to the club. I will send it, but you have to submit it via the district central and type it in what you have realized. And then, do you think you get credits for that? Yeah. To get an area distinguished, you have to have 75% of the club that shall be visited. So if your area consists of 4 clubs, the minimum is to visit 3 clubs. So if you are a perfectionist and you would like to visit all 6 clubs of your area, then it's wonderful, and we recommend to visit them all, but 75% is recommended, just to let you know figures. So, and be careful with what you are writing. Is it top secret? What do you think? Some comments. Is it top secret, the club visit report? The new ones. No, Ralph, I cannot hear you. You are unmute.
I don't think so.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, wonderful. You think it's top secret?
I don't think
Not
so.
at all.
Because first we have to exchange with the club officers. So it's a mutual report.
The club officers. Anybody else? Okay. I'm gonna tell you something. It's not top secret at all. So whatever is in your mind, writing that, it will be read by quite a lot of people. And these are the folks. The first thing you see, there is a report on how many reports you have done per area. So the PQD, the Program Quality Director, can see what how many clubs were visited. And here, this is a screenshot of last year. You see all the people who will get your report. There are 7 people. So, just to show a little bit behind the scenes who is reading that. And everyone, you know, the club roster, program quality and division director, area director can give you feedback on that. The district officer team usually decides who is giving feedback on that. Some means to help you. We have the item 219, which is the serving clubs through visits. And this is really, I really tell you from heart, read the guide for area directors. There are some very valuable hints for your visit, what you can look at, and how you can resolve issues. The second one, the 4071, at the club visit report. That is what you need to fill out with first in the paper form and then later on online. And then the whole club visit report, it consists of many, many pages, is actually a structure of moments of truth. I come to that later on. And then you need the district central. So I integrated all the links here. They are connected, so you don't have to write it down. Just click on that and you have the resources that you need. So what are the best practices now? Your first year just have started, so it's a really newborn baby, and there are 10 steps to help you get this child growing. So this is the process. And the first thing is meet every club twice. And this means in the first term and in the second term. And this should be started right now. If you haven't done it, now it's really the time this week or next week. Go to the clubs and virtually reach out to them and then plan every single date with them. Somebody has not muted his mic. Marcel, or is it? Can everyone who is not speaking please mute their mics? Sounds good. So do it as early as possible to make this date arrangements. And then if you know your date, send them the club officer team. I would advise the club president and the VPM and the vice president education. They should have the form and they should fill out what they should do. They will realize that there are some things in it that they have never thought about it. The awards, I have to do that, I have to plan that. That's the time they will realize, oh my God, I haven't done it. Then you're gonna help them later on. So before the visit, 1 day before, on the day, 2 days before, you're gonna check the district, the distinguished club program for this club. You're gonna check what have they achieved. You're gonna check their Easy Speak page and their home page, all the things to find out what are they doing good or bad. And you give this knowledge, with this knowledge you go into the club meeting. During the meeting, your sole role is being a good listener and observer during the meeting. I know it's very fun, you know, to hear these wonderful evaluations and speeches, but really be aware that you are very, very attentive to everything what's going on and see what is according to Toastmasters rule, what is not in that, what is beneficial for the members, what can be improved. So after the meeting, the club meeting, meet the club office. So this is my recommendation. Do it in this evening and give them 2 or 3 recommendations, what they can improve, and show them also the good things and the bad things, but never concentrate on the bad things, right? You might have the possibility even that at the end of the evening, the club president or the VPE asks you to give a summary. Of course, you are very welcome to do that, and you like to do that, right? Because it's also an occasion to speech, but people would like to know how good they are. My recommendation, strong recommendation, is to send the report 2 to 3 days after the visit. Why? Any idea? Muriel, you have an idea? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Ulrike, can you repeat the question? Sorry.
You have any idea why my recommendation is to submit the club visit report 2 or 3 days after the visit?
Yes, because all the information are current, and after 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, you have forgotten everything. And it's much better to do it, to go through to it.
Yeah, thank you. Another very important reason is if you do it at the time when there is a submission, and remember it was on the 30th of November, they lost more or less 4 months to work on the improvements. You might have given them an email, you might have given them a verbal speech or evaluation, but it's not that strong if you submit this report. So please do it as soon as possible and not when the district officer team asks you to do that before the deadline is due. Give them the chance to improve as much as they can and they want. They can decide themselves what things, what are the things that you're writing your code can be improved. So give them this chance as early as possible. So, and if you have the luck or the opportunity, you're very close to it, or you have time, so follow up, go and see the club even in between the visits. That helps you to find resources, that helps you to get a better idea of the club, and you can see if changes have been done. But again, that is free, and it is upon your availability. So what is that? The red carpet. What this will say, there are some clubs, and this is an honor, they always like it. They say you feel like they roll out a red carpet for you. This will happen, and there are days or evenings when this will not happen. Whatever it is, you are there as an area director to support the officer team and the members. It's nice if they do it, and it's their opinion what they are doing with your visit, but don't expect it, and always treat them the same thing. So, and now the visit, how are you gonna prepare that? Some people say it takes so much time, all this visit and writing the report. So preparing a visit might take up to 30, maximum 60 minutes, depending how old the club is, what you know, things like that, but definitely not more on that. If you have analyzed the strength and the weakness, and you feel, my God, I could really give additional benefit to this visit with a educational speech on the weakness you have seen with, let's say, the members, the new guests are not treated very well, or the easy speak, and you don't see that. On easy speak, you see that the roles are not filled, that there are not enough offers in the team. Whatever you see, you can give an additional educational speech. Or if you have called the VPE and asked for if there's an outstanding Toastmaster, if there's someone who did something very good, recognize them during your evening. It's always very welcome, and this helps your positions. So during the visit, give this oral feedback. I talked about it, and for me, very important, recognize the strengths of a club. Never forget that. It's very important. Everyone would like to hear the positive things, aspects of the club. It's not about the personal member, and give them also the challenges. I always think about the things you have learned as a Toastmasters to give feedback. It's a sandwich system, right? It's not there to demotivate them. It's really motivating them in the strengths, but also mention only 2 or 3 challenges, what they can do, and give examples. Right? You have seen many more clubs. You have your own experiences. You've probably done the first training, so you need where you know where you can find answers, and you can provide this information to them. Yeah, and always tell them that they are not alone. If you don't have the answer right now, you can go back and provide it later. You have colleagues where you can find your answers about in your peers. You have your division directors, you have your PQD. You can ask all these people to have some answers, or the club themselves and said, okay, I can ask other clubs and go there and find out what we could do. So, and now we have some examples of previous reports. I tried to make them neutral, and you should not see any comments on that, on the names. So what I've seen here is, or what I would like to tell you again, the whole report is on moments on truth. The moments on truth is about the club quality, and this is what this club visit report is about. It looks at the different things like membership orientation, recognition, all the material that are used, and analyze this. So that's why moments of truth is very important, and that's why I would like to ask you to read this manual. So what we can see here is an example for membership orientation, and there is something like nothing to report. Nothing to report. This is very likely in the first visit reports. We see that very often, NN or nothing to report. But think about it. How can the club improve? Is it really possible that a club is perfect? Or could there be something more? Think about it. Think a little bit more. What can be done in membership orientation? Reflect what you are doing in your club. And I cannot give you any recommendation here because I don't know the club. So what does the club well? And I marked it in red. Well organized, well-run meeting, active vice president education, encouraging members to go on. Ceremony to celebrate the recent achievement of an education award together. That's wonderful. That's wonderful that they do it. So the next time you go into the club meeting of this club, check if they are still doing it. Right? You would like to see if they keep the strengths or have even improved them, if there is something, or if they have some of the weaknesses reduced. So always read the last report, and if it was so good as it was here, then please check that if it's still not the case. If not, try to find the reason and give some recommendation. So here's an example on fellowship, variety, and communication. So if you see here, what does the club do well? This was, when I was area director, a really good source to make a list of things that are very, very good and share it also with others afterwards. So this little bulb is always an idea that you can take over for others. And then can you tell, let's say a secret, the more visits you do, the more reports you write, the more creative you get with giving the recommendations here, and Moments on Truth will help you as well as the good listening. So another good thing is, how does the club communicate? The club uses a WhatsApp group to communicate among themselves. They are active on this forum and come up with decisions quickly. Wonderful. The thing is, there are many people who are not using WhatsApp. Are they lost out of it? This is something that you might ask. Yeah? It could be that people are not signing up because they are not using WhatsApp, or some get mad about it because there are 20 WhatsApp messages during the day. Think about it. This is something that you can ask as the area director to the others. Is everyone following that or not? It sounds good. So here we have something on membership strengths, how to retain the members, how to attract new members, how to promote this. And here is, what does the club to retain members? Here's the person, the area director, here says, mutual appreciation, reminders for meetings, encouraging speech progress, mentoring. My question to you, is that right or wrong? Is that a good means to retain members? Who else do we have? Roberto from Rome. Oh, Roberto, you are. Can you please unmute your mic, please?
Okay. So you asked can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. We have an area director who has written under the section, what does the club do to retain the members? Make the members stay in the club. So he said, oh, this club makes mutual appreciation, reminders for meetings, encourage speech progress and mentoring. And they have a special survey. My question to you is this or are these different things here good means to retain members?
I think that some of them are nice suggestions. Encouraging speech progress, mentoring. Mentoring is very important, actually. Reminders for meeting. I think also some phone calls would be useful.
Mm-hmm. The means are correct, but what you can see here is he says these are the means that they do well for what they do for retaining the members. And then very at the bottom, you can see they say, how can the club improve? And this area director says, none, as the club is still a young club and needs to make sure that they do not grow too fast. Member retention and commitment are possible challenges. We don't know why.
I think that they have to grow fast and they have to progress in the educational program. Because in my opinion, speeches in the meeting are the core attraction of the meeting. If you don't have speeches, you have the impression to waste your time. And when you have speeches, you have evaluations, you have a general evaluator who makes comments, the meeting is richer. But so it's important that members do speeches, deliver speeches, and it's important they progress in the evaluation, in the communication program, because it's important too to have advanced speakers in the club, so you get a better feeling of the objectives you can reach. You set an example and you motivate people to progress more.
All right, thank you, thank you. What I would like to point out here, this section is really hard. If I would receive that, I see, hey, more goes fine. I see what I do for the retained members, and at the bottom I see it might be a challenge. This is what I, as a club officer, cannot interpret. What shall I do with it? Why is it now a challenge? It's not precise enough. So my advice to you, think about what you're writing and how it can help the club. Be precise as possible, whatever you're writing. You should understand it the next time you read it, and also the club officer who reads it. Yeah, precise as possible. And then we have something like not announced. You don't know that. It might happen. If you are a young Toastmaster, and I know here every one of you is not a Toastmaster since 1 year. You are Toastmasters for quite a long time. So there might be very empty, very few blank spots in your visit reports. But if there might be something you really cannot answer, write something in there, not announced, or check it later. But just to let the other people know that you do not have, just by accident, forget it. And as I said before, this leadership role is very, very interesting. If you cannot find it out in the evening, this report might remind you that you asked the club officers to have to look out during the year for the future members. So probably in their next visit, you're gonna find one. Achievement recognition. Keep on an eye on this when you go to the club. Yeah, and then we see here, what is the process the club uses to submit award applications? The answer is normally the VPE or the secretary do it. My interpretation is this has been written by the club officers and not the area director. Yeah, so it should be one. If I read that and as an area director, I would ask, who is really responsible for that? Who has the role? Who prepares it? For me here, it looks like it's not clear. Or if it is sometimes the secretary, why is it not the VP? Does he not have time? Is he not there often enough? So things you can really dig into that if you get this information. Why is it like that? Or has the secretary more tasks of the VPE and she cannot fulfill both her roles correctly? This might have an impact on the club. Things like that. Be precise on what that is. And you might get, if you send out the report before, some people might send it to you before you make the visit. If not, if they give it to you on the day you have on your visit report, click on those things if you see them. Yeah. And here again, one thing, the distinguished club program, you might find that your clubs are very, very strong and everyone fills in their aims. This will be at the beginning of this point of time. Now, in the first or second week of July, might be very difficult if you have a club resident that they have done it, because everyone is new, they might not know how to do that, so that might be empty. So if it is empty and the people don't know at the time of your visit, who's gonna make a CC award, who's gonna make the first pathway award, this is the time you're gonna tell them, hey, ask your members what kind of goals they would like to achieve, motivate them, inspire them, and then write it down. Maybe you give them time to do that. But don't forget that, because it's very important, the recognition as well as the step before, making the speeches or the leadership roles, that the people, the members who came to the club to learn really fulfill their goal. If they don't reach it, you might lose them. Okay, so I give you now time to ask you questions. So raise your hand. How can I see that? I don't know. So unmute yourself if you have a question.
Hello, Ulrike, here's Ralf. I have a question.
Yeah.
You mentioned about the preparation for the club visit to read the previous report.
Yeah.
How do I access the previous report?
I mean, yeah, of course. You cannot see the first one from your predecessor, and he might not share it with you. I mean, your first report.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, Ulrike. I am a member of two of the clubs of my area, so I attend meetings regularly every week. How this can relate to my visit? Is it a problem or is it and can I have I to change my hat when I am visiting as a director, and another one when I will be attending as an usual member?
Mm-hmm. And that is, yeah. Thanks for this good question. It is very important that you go on this meeting as an area director. That means you greet them normally, but there is the club president who introduces you and said, today we're gonna have our area director here who is there to visit our club and give feedback on the club. So the area, you have to have a formal introduction and you have to be prepared, and at the end you give the feedback, and then the club sees that you were in the role of an area director. And next time you're going to be the original member.
So you give the feedback after the meeting to the ExCom, or in which occasion?
Whatever is more convenient. It could be in the club meeting room. It could be in a bar. It could be virtual, whatever it is, it depends on the location and the time.
Okay, but not in the meeting.
You can, if they ask you to give a evaluation speech on the club visit, you're gonna do that. But this is usually very short. I would suggest that you take your time and at least with the president, the VP, the vice president education, and the VP membership to talk about at least 15 minutes about the strengths and weaknesses and more.
How many minutes?
And 50 should be enough.
50?
15, 1 5.
15, okay. Thank you.
The rest
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, some more questions?
Yes.
Who is it?
Can I speak?
Yes?
Why do you recommend to go early in the term? Because early in the term, I assume that the committee has not had enough time to plan the DCP, for instance. And the second thing is, in my experience, membership base drops at the end of September when the renewals are due. So if I go early between July and the renewal time, they have the peak membership base. And after that, it drops to the minimum.
Yeah, okay, there are two things. For the first thing is the DCP is only one part of this club visit report. It's the last part, and this is about the awards. But there are many, many other things you can look at and the club meeting concerning the moments of truth, how they are welcome, how is the atmosphere, how are the setup, the infrastructure, are the evaluations beneficial or not, things like that. And this has nothing to do with they started just now, because this is taking over from other things from the previous months, right? So this is you can look at, and you give them a chance to improve it during the year. If you do that in, let's say, end of October, it's already 3-4 months that they have lost the time to. And the second time, you said if you go there in July, August, or September, it is a peak season for new members. What's the problem?
No, not for new members. Because the clubs usually pay in September for a year. At least in my club, we did that. So if members leave in January or so, they still count as a member in the roster, even though they don't come anymore.
Well, but what is the?
I tried to visit two clubs or more clubs. One club has more than 20, a member base of over 20, and 2 times in a row now they didn't manage to hold a meeting because only 1 or 2 people signed up to come to the meeting, even though they have a member base of over 20. And then I say, it's because it's summertime. But I mean, only 1 or 2 people. This for this member base is, I don't know. What does that say to me?
Yeah, it say to me that there is something not right in either in the organization, in the location, in the spirit, in the commitment. You have to find out and give the recommendation. In summertime, if that is always like that, this year and last year and the year before, then they should close for 4 weeks, like others do that as well, right?
Yeah.
So it could be a thing, because it's frustrating for 2 people. You're gonna close it anyway. If there is a rhythm, close it for 1 month. No problem like that with this. Okay.
So this might be a reason to meet them more than once, or two times. Go there 4 times a year or something, to see if there's a rhythm, maybe.
If you have the time.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, some more questions?
I have a question. Okay, go ahead.
I was thinking I would add, if you have access to tmclub.eu, i.e. EasySpeak, you can check whether in their agenda, how many speeches did they have, were there evaluators? You can even evaluate how many people were coming. Because in my previous experience, I had a president who was telling me, oh, we organize meetings twice a month and we have 3 or 4 speeches at a time. I was thinking, oh, okay. And I was checking the tmclub.eu, Easy Speak, and I could see from the agenda that it was not the case.
Very good. Thanks, Franz. Very good. That's why you always should check this different meets that we have. Yeah. Thanks. Some more questions?
Yeah, Ulrike, it's Ralph again. I have a question. Is it a good idea to take the role as general evaluator or not? Because in a way you would like to give a feedback on the general setup. You can do this at the end of the meeting or maybe also as a general evaluator.
Mm-hmm. There are 2 things. I've seen area director doing this, and when I was a member, I find it nice that he does it, or he or she is doing that. On the one side, it takes the chance from other people to speak, but you don't want to hear 2 evaluations on the club in one day. So I think it's a really nice idea time to take this occasion to be general.
Okay, thank you.
All right, some more?
I have a question, if you allow me. I've seen some reports of club visits. They are rather long and, let's say, rather boring. I've seen the people in address you showed us. They are Toastmasters that are usually very busy with their activity. So my question is, do someone reads with attention these dozens of reports, or the value of the report is for the area director who writes it and for the ExCom, because they focus on some topics that are relevant for the club?
Okay, you are not writing it for the team you have seen, you are writing it for the club officers, for the enhancement of the club. So this is that. And if it is boring or not, this is up to you. Make it precise, make it valuable, make it positive, and with a challenge, and it will never be boring because the people are there to learn. That's one thing. To answer your question, if somebody is reading the report, what I've done here is the results of having read the reports last year. And I know that there were at least 2 people of the last officer team who have read that. Okay?
Okay, thank you. So it's mainly for the ExCom, but in any case, in the district, there is people taking care of them too.
Yeah, you're not writing it for the dustbin.
Okay, thank you. That's so maybe I can add something on that. I've seen area director negotiating the report with the ExCom. Is that a correct practice, or how should we do?
I don't know what you mean with negotiation. Your role is giving advice and recommendation. If it's not negotiation, how you should lay out the members, how you should make the signs, how you should get the members. You should give tips and tricks and the resources, and give the chance to the leaders to find out what is the best means, but not teaching them. Show how it can be done, but not negotiate. I think, for my personal opinion, and it's a wrong role. No negotiation.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. I would like to get the last minutes benefits for you. Sometimes I hear, I have to do that. I didn't know that. It takes too much time. This is the chance for you to learn. You took this area director to make something better, either in the clubs, in the areas, but also you have your private goals. Think about them. I listed some things that I found very, very helpful, and talking with other area directors, what the year of the area director has given them to them, and also for the clubs. And the better the clubs, the better communication. You might have either less problems, you have more fun, and you have more distinguished clubs as well. So take this flower bouquet and pick out the most important things for you, where we wanna, what you wanna learn. There are many, many chances to grow in this 12 months for you. So take 1 minute now, or probably 30 seconds, and not more. What did you learn out of this session? And what are your next 2 to 3 steps in terms of club visit reports? Please write it down or just.
Before taking this minute, can I ask one last question?
Yeah.
Thank you. So the question is, I've seen some about the style of the visit, actually, because I've seen area director who rather to be under the spotlight, and I've seen area director who sit in the back of the room just like an observer, neutral observer. So which style do you think we should follow more?
This is your personal style. There is no recommendation on that. I think it's very, very, what I said in the beginning, or during that, when I answered your last question, is the role should be clearly defined when you enter the room and you are introduced. You are the area director. The role of the area director is to observe. If you are doing this in the front row, let me know. You cannot observe the whole club. So sitting in the back is the best thing to observe the club, right? And you have the observer role. If you are, I don't know, if you are a colorful peacock and you're nosing with a strong handshake and everyone knows your presence, you are there, that's your personality. If you're more shy, you don't say anything, it's also another area director. So there are different personal styles and you have to do what fits to you. If you would like to grow and you would overcome your shyness, this is also a chance, but sit in the back, observe, and the rest is your personality. Others, you cannot say, you have to do it like this. Okay, Roberto?
Thank you.
But always think it is for the club, it's for the members, it's not a showcase for the area director.
Thank you.
That's why I said the peacocks. Okay, so take your 30 seconds now.
Okay, maybe I start. Someone has to start. So I learned how the report is being used by the organization. I think that was a good indication. And I think next is to plan the club visits. So that's relatively clear. My idea is also to use the club officer training to raise a little bit more awareness about this. We have not talked about this, but by writing down this kind of comments, I think, yeah, this idea came up too. Thank you.
To inform about the visit at the club officer training?
Yes.
Yeah, you can inform them, of course. Let everybody know when you're coming.
Yeah, or also what's the purpose of the club visit.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. And there are many people who that's why I said the red carpet. Some are really roll out the red carpet, and for some you feel you are not there at all. So, but if there's a club who rolls out the red carpet, they expect quite a lot of you. So the whole Toastmasters information, they ask you thousands of questions. Try your best. If you don't know it, just go back, find the answers, and then answer. Okay, thanks, Ralph. Any more? One more?
Yes. Yes.
Roberto, before you answer, because you had quite a lot of time to speak now, may I ask somebody else? Roland? Yes, it's here.
Yeah, I like the idea of sitting in the back and also sending the form beforehand. And maybe I'm not sure if I could or should wait for getting the form back before the meeting and the visit or afterwards. What would make more sense? I mean, they would probably not fill it out before the meeting, I assume.
Yeah, I would not expect to have it before.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks. Last information. Next one. Okay. If there's no input, then very important. I say that so some people expect you really you are like the bibliography of Toastmasters, but tell them this is always your first time. It's a learning experience for you. It's not an excuse, but you do your best. You find out it might not have it in a minute, and really forgive yourself if you do not have it. And if there are things you are not sure about, the club is not sure about, remember the member. That means all the time it's for the benefit of the member what you are doing. If you have any more questions, reach out to your division director, reach out to your PQD, to Metaxia, or you can also ask or call me. You know, it's always this Toastmasters that we are there. If you have a question, you can always ask or drop me an email. All right, so thank you for everything.
Ulrike, I have a question. Will you share your slides so that?
Yeah, Franz. For everyone who came a little bit late, I gonna send this, or I give it to Lilian. I send this presentation to her, and also you will get this, the wisdom of last year, the effective club visit reports, and you see it's really from last year. So should not have so many changes. Just use them what you need. Okay, so here are all the questions that you find in the report with possible answer that you can give. And this should help you prepare very well and write very good club visit reports from the very first beginning. Okay, so my time is over. Thank you very much for taking your time on this evening. I wish you a lovely summertime. Have fun with the visits, with your role, and writing the reports as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ulrike. It was a very wonderful seminar.
Ciao Lilian, ciao ciao.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao, bye bye. Grazie molto. Bye bye.
Bye.
Lilian,
Yes,
is it the two of us, I think?
there's still a couple of people online.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I wanted to mention next week's seminar, actually, the webinar. But people, as soon as Ulrike finished, they started logging off. They weren't used to waiting, so.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You've sent it in the email. I would like us to introduce friends, so hopefully we'll do it in a post and an email within the following hours. Can you proceed into working with the